Okay. You want me to start? Okay, cool. Hello, folks. My name's Jason. I'm one of the co-founders of One Day Dreams. So One Day Dreams is a new charity that we started about 2 years ago. We grant dreams for adults living with a terminal illness all over Canada. So we do it for Canadian citizens. If you're familiar with Make-A-Wish, it's similar to that, but for folks over the age of 18 that are living with a terminal illness. So about us, how it got started, I work in the entertainment industry for a living. My partner, who I started this with, he works in hospice and social work care. And so he got a hold of me years ago because he would have families that he was dealing with and people that he was dealing with that were in hospice care, and he would talk to them about what's most important to them. You know, what's really gives you that zest in life, what makes you, get up in the morning and get you excited. So he would learn about their hobbies and interests. And sure enough, a few of those ended up being entertainment related. So what Michael did was, who was my partner, he got in touch with me, and you can see this photo here of the woman in the middle with the scarf and her whole family surrounding her. That was the first time he got in touch with me, and he said, I have this woman named Caroline. She's in her late 20s, and she's unfortunately only got about 6 months left with us, but her favorite band, it was a band called Mariana's Trench. They're sort of a popular new kind of pop band in Canada. He got in touch with me because our firm, we work with talent all across Canada, and he said, well, is there something special we could do for her? So I reached out to the band's team, and they actually agreed to do a private concert for her over the internet just for her that she could watch live. And the unfortunate part about this story is that she actually passed away the night before the concert. But the kind of piece that we take from it that was really fulfilling is the band said, could we post this photo on all of our websites, social media, and whatnot? And they said, we want to, tell people how important our fans are to us. So they did. And what ended up happening was they ended up getting over 1,000 comments. There was tens of thousands of shares and likes. And the family told us that for their grieving process, it was so powerful for complete strangers to be saying beautiful things about their daughter and saying things about their family. And it was just it kind of gave us the start of an idea that this is really wonderful thing to do for people. So fast forward another year later, this gentleman here, Michael, if you can't see, he's got all his Shania Twain albums behind him. He's a big Shania Twain fan. So my partner Mike, again, he got in touch with me and he said, I got another one for you, it's a bit bigger. And I said, well, how big? He said, Shania Twain. I said, okay. So he said, can we do something for him? And we knew that her new album was coming out, and Michael was unfortunately not going to be around with us to hear it. So we got in touch with the record label, and we actually got him, you can see in the background there's a laptop. He got a monitored private listening of the album for 24 hours. He was one of a handful of people in the entire world to hear the full album, and she actually sent him a personal note as well. So that was another really powerful moment, and he was so happy to hear that. So these were the two things that really got us started with One Day. So I was living in Toronto at the time. I now reside back in Windsor. And my partner Mike was living in Windsor, and we were going out for food and drinks. And he was telling me how he likes to do these things at hospice, sometimes on a small scale. He helped a gentleman do one last DJ gig at a club. He helped another man, he loved to play banjo. He got the whole Banjo Association of Windsor to do a concert for him at his hospice room. So he said, I love doing this type of stuff. And I said, me too. And we started talking about Make-A-Wish, and we realized there was nothing in Canada for adults, really. So we said, well, we could probably put together a team and make this happen. So that's what we started to do, and we started to do pilot dreams. We started to do more test dreams. So what you could see here is Randy in the middle in his wheelchair, and on the same Randy over there on the right as well. That's him with the Maple Leafs alumni team. So Randy's dream was he never got to see a Toronto Maple Leafs game. He didn't have the finances to do it. And those were his heroes, these guys, when he would watch them on TV all the time. So we sent him to training camp, and the alumni players were actually at training camp. And the interesting part about this story is Randy in the wheelchair, that's him in the hotel lobby. He was not feeling really well that day, so he couldn't go down to the rink. So the guys, you can see them all behind him there, they all hopped in cabs and went to the hotel, and the Toronto Maple Leafs players went and met Randy in the hotel. And it was just a beautiful moment for him and his sister, who you can see crouching right beside him. So the timeline of how everything started is we started doing pilot dreams. Like I said, the Toronto Maple Leafs, we did one with the Toronto Blue Jays, we did another one with the Leafs. That seems to be a common team that people like. And then we put together a board of directors, people from Windsor, Essex County that we feel really believed in our vision and what we're trying to achieve. And that board today consists of retired police professionals. We have active palliative physicians in Windsor on it. We have professional business persons, lawyers. So we have a very strong board. And that board helped us put together our application to become a charity. So we're nationally registered. So we can do dreams all across the country. And then from there, we started working on our branding and donations. We have some wonderful philanthropists in Windsor that have helped us. A lot of great fundraising that we started. And we launched in 2021, which probably wasn't the best time to launch because a lot of things were shut down. But it did allow us to grow and do things at a good pace that wasn't too overwhelming. So our current focus, what I'm kind of doing today, we do this all over the country, usually via virtual. We do stuff locally here. We do education. So we talk to hospices, cancer centers, hospital teams. We talk to community groups, and we tell them what we are and what we're trying to do. We do a lot of fundraising. We just had a golf tournament, and we raised $26,000, which was incredible. And the average dream, just so you know, can cost upwards of $3,000. Now, we get a lot of in-kind, which is a wonderful thing about this charity is businesses can donate their services. It depends on the dream. So we had a dream where a woman wanted a memorial garden for her family to spend time in when she passed away. Well, the labor was donated by the garden company, and Home Depot donated the flowers. So we get very fortunate when the community comes together to make a dream happen. And obviously dreams. We're doing an average of a dream a week almost right now. It's really picked up the pace. And we've brought more volunteers on. We're now up to, I think, 29 volunteers that work on one day at any given time. So how to apply, I'll let you know a little bit about how you can get an application in or how this works. So we have a website, www.onedaydreams.ca. You can read dream stories on there. If you're interested in volunteering with us, whether it's at an event, being on a committee, whatever you'd like to do, there's a form you can fill out for that. We have questions that are common. You can see those as well in the FAQ. And then applying for a dream. So our application really consists of three main parts. The first part is the person fills out their general information. We're making sure where they live in Canada. We make sure that they give us contacts, so that we can talk to people on their team, their family or whatnot. And then also the medical information is another section. Now that's filled out by the person's most appropriate medical care provider, doctor, oncologist, whoever that may be.
I think something started playing on my computer, and so I muted my computer. There's some back video playing. I don't know what's happening.
It's okay.
So you're not streaming on me for a second. Want to start the apply over?
Yeah, sure. Just let me know when to go. Okay, so when applying for a dream, there's three main sections. Again, general information that they fill out, where your address, your alternate contact information. That's also the section where you say what your dream is. Whatever that may be. Sometimes it's very vague. It could be, I love flowers. I just like to do something with flowers. Sometimes it's very specific. I would like to go to Niagara Falls. I had one where I like to go to Niagara Falls for one night, eat at the Keg. I want to go to this specific museum with my kids. And so those ones are easier to figure out because they're very specific. We have a lot of fun with the ones that are vague, though, because we can really be creative. The medical information, again, is filled out by their medical care provider. So that tells us the prognosis, the diagnosis, Any medical conditions we should be aware of. Maybe they're on oxygen, maybe they have a wheelchair. Things to consider when we're putting the dream together. And then so when we're putting the dream together, there's a point where they receive a dream contract. This is pretty standard. It's to make sure that, you know, us as an organization is protected for liabilities. It also makes sure that the dreamer understands their limitations and making sure that they're safe. And it's also their right of publicity, so we can tell their story to get more donations and to get more people to dream. So who can apply? 90% of the applications we get are actually someone on behalf of the applicant. A lot of people that are living with a terminal illness, they may not have the energy or the time to really go through this, but they want to do it. So a lot of times you find it's their sister, it's their friend, it's even their hospice social worker. They're the ones filling out the application and submitting it on their behalf. So really almost anyone can fill it out as long as the applicant gave their consent. We do not do surprise dreams. It's just too overwhelming for the person with their schedules. So as long as they know that the application is being put in. So the dream process, I won't go too deep into it, but it's important that I talk about it to know that we were very thorough. We spent a lot of time putting the dream process together. This is what got us our charitable status, and this is what a lot of people who are donating really like to see. We go through a rigorous process when we get an application. It goes through various different teams. One of the most important is it goes through a dream review team, and that team there makes sure the application's filled out correctly. They look at making sure it doesn't violate any terms or conditions, that it's safe, things like that. Then it goes to the medical team on our side. They verify that yes, this person does indeed meet the qualifications on the medical side. Are they terminally ill? Do they have a prognosis of a year or less? And they might verify that with the other doctor. They also tell us things with travel. Consider this, consider that. No, they shouldn't go away for more than 3 days because they have to have something checked every couple days. So they make sure that those things are aware to the people planning the dream. The finance team tells us if the budget is okay. And then we do a secondary check-in with medical if it's travel related. Because sometimes it can take us almost a month to put a dream together depending on how complex it is. Some people's health conditions can change very quickly. So our medical team may check in again to make sure that maybe we got to change some things or you're good to go. And then the dream happens. So that's the overview of kind of how the charity works internally on the dream process side. And this is something that's really important to us. It's really everything that the charity is about. This was founded on the belief that creating these moments, no matter how small or large they are, or how long they are, or short they are, can mean everything to someone going through their most challenging days. So I can take any questions you have now. I can share any more dream stories that you'd like to hear, but does anyone have any questions?
Are you,
Sure.
like, do you have contacts with the casinos and the concerts and stuff?
Yes. Yes, certainly. So we've done, every dream's unique. We never know what we're going to get because everyone has individual interests. So we never really, it's really exciting when we get one. I mean, we've gotten emails that say, I love golf. I would love to play at a golf course that I can't get into because it's private. Or we get an email from someone that says, I want to visit my sister I haven't seen in 15 years in Banff. So everything's different. So it's a wonderful thing that we have a lot of connections in the community. And a majority of dreams, surprisingly, if you had to guess what is the most asked for dream, it's dinners. That's the most common dream request we get is a dinner with their family. A lot of folks that tend to apply for our services are usually from lower income homes, people that may not have had as much privilege in their life. And so for them to have a dinner for their entire family that would normally maybe cost $300-400 for a nice dinner, that's a really special moment for them. So we've done a lot of those, a lot of dinners. Is there any other questions that people have?
It's nice, this simple dreams, that's,
Yes.
how easy they're fulfilled.
Yes, yes. So what I would encourage everyone to do is take time to look at our website. If you have any more questions, you can feel free to email us, info@onedaydreams.ca. If you are interested in volunteering in any way, we use volunteers for everything, whether it's putting events together, even just a registration booth at an event, or We have a Holiday Dreams campaign where we do Christmas gifts for some of the people during Christmas that are from lower income and that are terminally ill. So with that, we have people volunteer to wrap the gifts. We have people that volunteer to put together crafts for a craft fair to raise money to pay for those gifts. So we have all sorts of different ways that you can volunteer if you're interested as well.
Maybe we can do something here as a group with.
That'd be wonderful.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, we're very flexible to do these things. It's a unique charity in the sense that, there's a lot of wonderful charities out there, but I can tell you all the money we raise, you see a direct result immediately. You see the dream. The dream happens, you know exactly where the money went. It paid for the hotels, it paid for the car service, it paid for the flowers. So that's a wonderful thing that there's a direct correlation to where that money's going to make that person's dream come true. Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Jay today?
I was just going to ask you,
Sure.
are the dreams granted based on a prognosis of the person? Like, I know it's within a year, correct? But within that year, are they fulfilled based on limited time available?
Yes, so when we get an application, the medical provider will usually check one of 3 to 4 boxes. It'll say, we believe this person has 0 to 3 months left, 3 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 12. Now, if someone applies and they have 14, 16 months, we'll usually bend the rules a bit because it's within reason to our qualifications. But yes, we do have a window of prognosis, and that helps us determine what dreams are possible. And I should mention that if it is 3 months or less, no travel, because it's too tricky with their condition changing. We'll do travel locally within their local region, but we can't put them on a plane out somewhere because it's too risky. They could run into health complications. Yeah. It's a good question, thank you. Yeah. But and the disease, let me be clear, that whatever their illness is does not matter. It could be cancer. We've had someone who had complications with kidney disease. We've had people reach out that maybe dealing with like ALS or whatnot. So it does not matter what it is as long as they have a prognosis of a year or less.
Good. Thank
Good.
you, Jay.
Thank you very much.
We'll share this out and talk about doing something here at the center.
That'd be wonderful.
Coordinate some volunteering.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.